Hello, team, and welcome to the first episode of Impact Ready. Oh man, I am so excited to be doing this show finally. It's something that's been on my heart and my mind for years, and it just feels like the right time to be putting it out there and having these types of conversations. So obviously, based on the name, this show is all about impact, how to have powerful impact, how to understand the influence that we have on our world around us, how to make it very intentional and purposeful, and also getting in depth about how to live a powerful, joyful, fulfilled life. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. And when we can understand our energy, when we can become aware of how to show up the way that we want to and influence the people around us in a positive way and really make a change, it just makes life so much more fulfilling. All of this is so important. And if we were more mindful and more intentional about the influence or the effect that we have on others, I think the world would be a really different place. So I'm very excited to be having these conversations. About 4 or 5 years ago, I became a little bit obsessed with this idea that every time someone walks into a space, they have an influence on that room and everyone in it. And sometimes that impact is subtle, and sometimes it's really obvious and palpable. You can feel it. But regardless, most people are pretty unconscious about the influence and the impact that they have when they walk into a space. They're not even conscious of it. They're very unaware of it. And we aren't paying attention to how people are responding to us or the energy that we are putting out into the world. We're not aware that we are influencing the moods and the energies of other people. And frankly, if people have awareness of that, most times they aren't sure how to leverage it or how to make it powerful. And most often, people are leaving their impact to chance. Like it just kind of becomes a random thing, meaning when you walk into a space, your influence or your impact is really just dependent on what the circumstances have been for you that day. So whether or not you got stuck in traffic or you got in a fight with your spouse or your kids, or you had a really hard couple days prior, maybe you couldn't get your internet to work. Maybe you're dealing with something really heavy. Maybe you're just in a bad mood. All of those circumstances then influence the energy that you have when you walk into a room. And it's sort of random. It's left to chance based on your circumstances in the days or the weeks prior. On the flip side of that, you could be having a great day, maybe a great week. Everything's going your way. You're feeling like you're in a good mood. You got some great sleep. And so maybe your impact that day is very positive when you come into a room. But the problem is when it's random, when it's left up to chance like that, there's no consistency. And as a result, you can have a breakdown of trust. You can have a lot of unnecessary drama or turbulence as a result. I mean, nobody really wants to deal with a Jekyll and a Hyde. There can just be breakdown in communication. And this is especially true for people who are in positions of influence, maybe leadership, maybe you're running a team, maybe you're trying to have a positive impact on your kids. If somebody is not consistent with the way that they show up and the energy that they bring to a space, this can cause a really big breakdown and it creates cracks in the foundation. So the why of this show, the reason behind it all, is to help people not only become more aware of the influence that they have and the impact that they have in their sphere, in their community, but also to help increase your satisfaction in life and your fulfillment in life. Because when people don't feel like they have powerful impact, that has a negative effect for them emotionally. We feel a little lost. We feel purposeless. We feel like what we do doesn't matter. And that influences our perspective on the world. So if we can make it more powerful, drive some intention into how we show up, can you imagine the exponential downstream effects of that? I mean, life is more fun. It's more creative. It's filled with passion and adventure. Everything feels more worthwhile. So I've become fascinated with this idea and just wanting to dig into how can we help people have powerful, consistent impact in the world so that they can create the positive change that they want. And with this show, I want to get curious about all of the different facets of that and have conversations about topics that tie into this so we can shine a light on how we can do better, how we can take care of ourselves in a better way, how we can manage our stress in a better way, how we can develop relationships and communicate in a better way. And hopefully these conversations will spur on your own insights and help you connect with the things that really matter to you so that you can go out in the world, make a positive change, and that will influence your community members and your friends and your family. And then they'll go out in the world and it will just be this exponential cascade of events. So a little bit about my background. I am a coach. I'm a personal coach. I work one-on-one with clients. I specialize in working on mindset and leadership and, of course, impact. I also do group coaching. I own a company called Optimize You with my business partner, Sarah, who's like one of the best humans on earth. And we do group coaching to help people heal metabolism and get back to healthy weight so that they can thrive and feel awesome energy in the world. I'm also an acupuncturist. I've been practicing in Portland, Oregon for 15 years. I can't actually believe it's been 15 years. And after thousands of patient encounters in the clinic, I recognize that my experience as an acupuncturist has been one of my greatest teachers in learning about impact and understanding how people actually have influence, what influences them, and then how our physical health and our mental and emotional health and our energy, how all of that plays into our ability to show up and have effect on the world. Hearing people's stories, hearing their greatest pain points, having these really intimate conversations with people, it's helped me understand what is most important to them about health and relationships and life. Just being a witness to their human experience over the years, it's been so helpful to understand human behavior and what makes people tick, what makes people take action, what moves them. And as an acupuncturist, being trained in Chinese medicine, you look at things differently. You are trained to see people in a different way and look for different specific things. You look at body language and skin and hear the tone of people's voices. You look at their eyes and you see what we call the 𝐀𝐛𝐨𝐮𝐭, which is the vitality coming through the eyes. You're looking for all of these things that are maybe a bit different than just your normal day-to-day interactions. You're also listening on a totally different level. You're listening to, yes, what people say, but also what they don't say. You're also watching their body language. Are they slumped in their chair when they're talking to you, or are they sitting up straight? All of that plays into understanding someone's health, their emotional and mental state, and then gives you a lot of information about what impacts people. And not only what impacts people, but who has powerful impact as an individual and the kind of person they are. Another really amazing experience to help me understand impact on a very deep level was being a spin instructor in Portland for 10 years. I taught 6 to 8 classes a week, some weeks, to 50 people in a room for almost 10 years. And that, my friends, is a massive lesson in impact. I mean, when you are on a stage by yourself, looking out at a dark room at 50 pairs of eyes and having to get people motivated at 6 a.m. in the morning, you learn a lot about how to have impact, not only with your voice and your body language and the workout, but also with the music and the lights, and really trying to understand how to influence the energy in the room. And so that was a really powerful experience for me in terms of showing me how to have impact. It was a test kitchen, trying different things, what was going to move people and what was going to get people into action. So my goal with this show is to deliver a couple of episodes to you a week. I want them to be reminders to you for how you can show up in a powerful way, and also so that we can have the impact that we want to have. Each episode is going to touch on a topic that has to do with what influences our ability to have impact, the things that go into helping us feel good, the habits that keep us feeling energized, the ways that we can communicate in powerful ways, all of this stuff, and then a lot more, everything that I talk about with my one-on-one coaching clients. For the purpose of this intro episode in our conversation today, I just want to highlight 2 things that I think allow for powerful impact in the world. The first thing that allows for impact is preparation. And I see this all the time, but the people who are prepared, those people are the ones that show up in very powerful, purposeful ways and create the change that they want. Preparation, so preparing for impact, it looks like doing the work to take care of yourself, having good habits around health so that you can have energy and you can show up in a really powerful way. It could be sleep. It could be exercise. It could be nutrition. It could be meditation. It could be reading inspiring books or listening to podcasts or listening to great music. All of those little things contribute to you having good energy so that you can show up in a very specific way. Preparation also looks like self-awareness, learning about yourself and your blind spots, because we all have them. And when you can learn about them and sort of deconstruct them and be aware of them, you're so much more able to communicate with people. You're better able to problem solve. You are more able to be curious and open-minded to the world and shift your perspectives when needed. Preparation is also ownership. And I talk a lot about this in coaching, and I will in the show also. It's taking massive ownership of your circumstances and your behaviors and your actions and your feelings. It's also having some mental discipline and doing the things that maybe you don't always want to do, but you know will make you feel good, will help you improve your health, and will help you improve your ability to show up wherever you are in whatever capacity you need to. Preparation is so key. The second thing that allows for powerful impact is being consistent. Consistency, man, that is not a sexy thing. I know it's not the most fun thing to talk about because people are like, I know, consistency, just show up, do the thing over and over again. What it really is just putting in your daily deposit and maintaining the habits that help you feel great. It's building competence by performing a task over and over. It's building confidence as a result of that. There's nothing more powerful. Truly, there is nothing that moves the needle more than being consistent. It's being consistent with your energy. It's being consistent with your self-awareness and your habits, the things that make you feel 10 out of 10 so that you can be the person that you want to be. The consistency is so crucial, and it's something that honestly I see a lot of people fall short on, and they can't understand why they don't live the life they want or they don't have the impact that they want to have. When we talk about consistency, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how many people are unconscious about the impact that they have when they walk into a room. They're totally unaware. They're oblivious. And because of that, it's random. It's just left up to chance based on whatever happened to them that day, the circumstances that they've been dealing with. Some days are good, some days are bad. And again, this can become a huge problem because it creates cracks in the foundation. It can cause a breakdown of trust or communication. And if you truly want to have influence, if you want to create positive change, if you want to make your life purposeful, whether you are in leadership or otherwise, you have to bring your consistency to the table. Consistency is the solution to the problem of randomness. No more leaving it up to chance. No more letting life circumstances dictate your impact. Now is the time where we are going to start being very intentional and purposeful about the way that we're showing up. Overall, my mission with this show, I want to help you. I want you to remember how powerful you are. I want you to feel incredible energy in your life. I want you to feel that even when you're not at your absolute best, you still have an impact and it matters, even when you're not feeling 10 out of 10. When you walk into a space and you have an effect on the people around you, it matters. And to make it positive, to make it what you want, that is so empowering. You are in charge. You get to be the creator of your life. And I hope that you feel that that is within your reach, that you are in fact a very powerful person. What you do in your life, in your sphere, in your community, it matters. Even if you think people aren't watching, they are. And I want you to remember that because I think so often we get disconnected from that truth. And that disconnection creates a lot of loneliness or solitude or feeling down or like we are just wandering around, floating around in life without a purpose. Like, what's the use? I talk to clients about this. People feel this way. And I want you to know that what you do in this world, it really does matter. And you can have an amazing impact. You don't have to be this loud, outgoing person on a stage. You just have to be your authentic self and shine and bring great energy to your life. It just requires a little bit of intention. As always, just take in what resonates with you and leave the rest every single show. Let it spur on your own insights. These are just conversations that are meant to serve you in whatever way you want. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to be talking about all of this stuff with you. So until next time, remember, you are powerful. Have an amazing day, and thank you for being ready to impact. Thanks for listening to Impact Ready. I hope today's episode inspired you to own your impact and recognize that you are powerful. By elevating our energy and awareness, we can create exponential change in this life. If you enjoyed today's insights, share them with a friend and subscribe to the show for more. I truly appreciate you. Thanks again for being here.